We are in Copenhagen, Denmark, and this is Mark Hummel's Harmonica Party, and I'm sitting here with a bass player I've known for many, many years, Mr. Bill Stuve. How you doing, Bill?
Pretty good, Mark. Good to be with you.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yes, and we're here on the road, and we had a day off yesterday and feel refreshed. And we are going to talk about Bill Stuve's Life in the Blues. Now, you grew up in Alameda, is that
Well,
right?
I was born in Alameda, moved down to San Leandro for, the first segment of my life into grammar school.
Right.
Then my father's business moved us down to San Jose, where I went to junior high school and college a little bit, and that's where I started really playing the blues.
Mm-hmm.
But I did start music early and up in the Alameda, San Leandro area. I was in a drum corps originally. Okay. When I was 10, I was on the road, experiencing all that, and then started playing guitar when I was around 13 and 14. And then eventually somebody handed me a bass and said, hey, we got a gig and there's too many guitar players. Why don't you try this? Because of my drum education and guitar theory, it worked perfect. And I played that electric bass for quite some time, and then we'll go on to the next segment.
Yeah, how old were you when you joined your first band? Because I know you were in bands when you were a teenager, right?
Yeah, we did quite well. I was about 15 years old and got together with this band that we were really successful, and I started making a lot of money, and that ruined my life for a regular job.
Yeah, couldn't do a job after that.
I mean, I was loaded with the money. We were making $50 a night back then.
That's good money. That was really good money.
That's a lot of money for a kid.
Hell yeah, that's good money for an adult.
And it was, I had a very supportive family.
And were you playing pop music like Beatles songs?
Yeah, we were doing that. Yeah. Rolling Stones, Yardbirds, right. Beatles, all the typical them.
Yeah.
All that.
And how old were you when you met? Because I know Junior said was he living in San Jose at the time?
Yeah, he was living right down the street from where we were.
Junior Watson.
Junior Watson was living right down the street from where we were recording, and there was this guy. I didn't know him. I just saw this guy. We had the garage door open. I saw this guy lurking back and forth, the lurker. And finally he came in and he goes, give me that guitar.
He was a hard lurker.
He kind of still is a lurker. And he said, give me that guitar. You're playing it all wrong.
Ah.
And nothing's changed since.
Right. He's still there.
And still showing me chords.
Right. So did you guys start playing together right away after that, or how did that work?
Well, it was quite a while before, let's see. I was in my 20s before I really started working with him.
Okay.
He was with Gary Smith, and I would always go check them out.
So how old were you guys when you met? I mean, were you both
15.
in your teens?
Yeah.
You were both 15.
14, 15.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too much.
And then and then we would cross paths all the time.
Right.
He'd be working and I'd be working different things. And finally, I was about 23 and I was playing in this kind of semi-funky jazz band.
Right.
At the Bodega there in Campbell, a very popular club.
Yeah.
And he came up and said, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, I got this call from this guy, Sam Johnson. He wants to do some R&B and funky stuff. You want to do it? He wants to rehearse and do some gigs. This older black gentleman that sang and played trombone. It was going to be a horn band. And I said, sign me up. And that kind of started our deal. And then we met a guy named Nate Branch.
Right.
With the Harlem Globetrotters.
And he was very popular.
Very well. Yeah. He was a popular guy and had quite a personality, and he played piano and sang. And he wanted to do he had a girl singer named Cher Kimbrough, who was fantastic, and he wanted to put a band together. And he saw us playing at the Mecca Lounge. And that led to us going to Reno and Las Vegas and playing the lounge circuit in those clubs. And the band was called HGT. And when
what did that stand for?
Hot, good, and tasty.
Hot, good, and tasty.
Yes, sir. Harlem Globetrotters.
But Harlem, I was going to say,
Yeah.
yeah. Harlem Globetrotters.
So we were playing all the clubs around dinner clubs,
Right.
And,
Right.
once again, had a great band,
Yeah.
playing great tunes, rehearsed all the time.
Now,
It was
what
really
did what
fun.
did he do? What did Nate Branch do?
He
on
played
those
piano
gigs?
and sang.
Played piano and
He
sang.
would come out for like the first song in his Globetrotter outfit, and then he'd go back and get into his regular.
So he wouldn't bounce the ball or anything.
Yeah, he did the
Did he?
shtick for a couple
did
of
he?
things just to let the
Okay.
people know because they wanted to
That
see
said it was
that.
really him.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he got into his Barry White shtick,
Ah,
He loved
okay.
Barry White.
Yeah,
We
what
did
a trip.
Did a lot of that.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, a gentleman named Rod Piazza calls Watson. And
Well,
said,
how about Gary Smith though?
Gary? We were playing with him. We had a little
Okay.
little band with him off and on. I'd play with Gary. He had Steve Gomes playing.
Right.
Gomes was the other bass player in town that was, playing gigs. And
Why did I think that you and Gary played together for a while though?
we did.
Okay.
We were in a band that was two saxophones. Kenny Baker was one of them.
Right.
Terry Eaton was the other guy on alto.
Mm-hmm.
And, your drummer, what's his name? Oh, jeez, I forget his name now. Harold Banks was drums.
Earl Banks, right.
And Gary and myself. And we
Right.
do a little reggae and blues
Right.
and funk.
Yeah.
And
Now was
that's-
Junior playing in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was just a blast.
So it was either you or Steve Gomes playing bass in that?
Well, then he was Steve got way into reggae by then.
Right,
He didn't want
right.
to do, somehow him and Gary weren't working anymore. He was doing
Right.
other things. So
Right.
there it was for me to get in there.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Steve actually had the gig with Rod originally.
Wow.
And then Steve couldn't do it for some reason. I get the call, and I go and play in San Francisco at the Green Earth or something
Was
club.
it the Green Earth or the Coffee Gallery?
It was a Green Earth.
Oh, okay.
That was the
I
first-
remember that. Yeah.
First gig, and then Rod goes, "Oh, it's pretty good, man, but I don't want you to play into that bow and arrow bass.
He meant electric.
No, into funk.
Oh, funk
He
bass.
didn't want no bang, bang, bang. He didn't want that ding, 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 ding." And I said, "Okay, Rod, just
Right. Bow and
whatever, let's play the blues. I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready for that." And the next thing you know, we're driving down to Riverside, me and Watson, and we met George Smith, Shaky Jake, Johnny Dyer.
And that was right out the gate.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a whole brand new world. And Rod goes, Bill, that upright bass, you could do that. And I had fooled around a little bit with the upright bass earlier, but never got anywhere. I kind of gave up.
Right.
And he kept pushing me, and Honey kept pushing me, come on, you could do that, because they wanted it in the act. Nobody
Right.
was doing this
Right.
stuff.
Right. That's right.
And so next thing you know, I think Watson saw this bass in a junk shop in Santa Ana, and I went down there, and I just sat there all day playing it. And the guy goes, "So how much money you got?" I go, "I got $250." He goes, "Okay, so get out of here."
Yeah.
So
that's how valuable upright basses were.
Yeah, and then the first time I ever played it with the band, I kept playing it around the house. Watson would come over and play chords for me,
Right.
or whoever I could get just to play
Yeah.
chords, so I could get my intonation together. And then the next thing you know, we're doing Chicago Flying Saucer Band,
Right.
the album. And half the album is me playing the upright for the first time, and it went really, really well. And I started playing it on gigs, I started half the night upright, and I built up my strength. And
Now, was that with Willie Schwartz on drums?
Willie Schwartz, first a guy named John Hoke was playing drums in the
Was
band.
he the one that was with you in the San Francisco Blues Festival?
No, that was Willie
Okay.
Schwartz by
Okay.
then. Yeah.
The one,
I
the
think-
one
no,
with
it was
George
John-
Smith?
it was
I don't
John
think-
Hope.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You're right.
It
You're
wasn't,
right.
It wasn't Willie. Yeah, because I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
I
a
even
good-
have pictures to prove I was there with you sitting in the front row.
I think you have a picture of me and Rod and
You
Honey
and Rod.
and my
yeah,
girlfriend
right,
Linda. So
Exactly.
Somebody took
Yeah.
that. Your dad?
My
took that?
dad took it. Yes.
Great, when it used to be in the park.
Right.
Golden Gate Park.
Exactly.
Oh, man, those are the days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't we have fun?
We did. Absolutely. So, I mean, you guys, in my book, you guys were really the first really pro West Coast, harmonica-led blues band out there. You guys were really doing it at a very high level with the upright bass. I mean, you were the only ones really, besides, I think Fats band might have had an upright.
Right. Larry Taylor.
Right, Larry Taylor.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, for an act that was touring and making records like you guys were, you guys were kind of the first ones. And then how long between the Flying Saucer Band and the Mighty Flyers was it?
That was 77, 78, 79.
That it was the Flying Saucer Band?
Basically, we were another name for the LA Midnight Groove was our first name when John Hope was playing drums. We were the LA Midnight Groove.
Right.
And then we wanted to be the Flying Saucers, but then somebody else had that name, so we were going to be Chicago Flying Saucers. And then in 1980, we kind of got to say we're going to take this really seriously. Let's do this. Let's really, put the hammer on the nail, and we're going to do this. And me and Watson moved down to LA area. I mean, basically Long Beach.
Right.
And that's when we changed the name to the Mighty Flyers. Because it was Flying Saucer, we went Mighty Flyers. We had a manager, Bob Mercer, that wanted it to be something besides the, Flying Saucers. That wasn't going to work anymore. So he says, let's call it the Mighty Flyers. Let's do that. And everybody, well, okay. Or he said the Flyers.
The Flyers.
And then somebody said Mighty after, Soul Train, here's the Mighty Whisper. That kind of where the Mighty came from that guy,
That was a mighty idea.
It kind of went along.
Good idea.
So that's how the Mighty Flyers name came.
So once you guys did that, how did Bob Mercer come into the picture?
How did he come into the picture? All of a sudden,
because he was in there a long time, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah. He
was our guy that really kind of got us going over to Europe. He got us. We were in the studios in Hollywood. He was working with a guy, Jay Lewis, who worked as a engineer for all these major, he did Dreamweaver. He engineered and produced that song. So we had all this extra time.
Guy from Spooky Tooth.
Yeah. Yeah. And he had all this extra time in the middle of the night. We would just meet in Western Studios, down in LA. Right. And just you name it, all over North Hollywood. And we'd be up all night recording tracks. Yeah. And they put out these records, and they
So he was able to swing that for free?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we would just sneak in there on already paid time.
That's great.
And they would do all the, recording of it, and the mixing of it, the mastering of it, the artwork, and it kind of took off. And Mercer, how did we actually meet him? That's I forget how he came. He must have seen us someplace and decided it was going to really be good, And he could do something. Because he used to be an A&R guy for the label that the Creedence Clearwater was with.
Oh, for Fantasy.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So he knew a lot of ins and outs and people in the business.
And you guys were pretty good at being able to catch gigs that you could do 3-4 nights a week too.
Well, back then you could work 5 nights a week. We worked 18, 19 days in a row playing all the steakhouses up and down the Coast Highway. Right. In Orange County. Yeah. It was great.
And so you guys really got to play together a lot and kind of get a group that was super tight. Yep. Like you were saying, you guys kind of dressed good before everybody else did.
Yeah, that was one of the things. Yeah. Rod, I have to say, he said no T-shirts. Right. No, and then basically in the end it was suits. Everybody gonna wear a suit. Right. You could wear a long sleeve shirt, no T-shirts. You could wear a short sleeve shirt, but it's got to be, no junk.
And he was cutting your guys' hair too, wasn't he?
He did a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was quite the hairstylist.
Wasn't he a hairstylist for a while?
He was. Right. Yeah. And he did landscaping.
Oh, did he really?
He did that too.
I didn't know.
He was a very talented individual.
Yeah, he kind of found all kinds of little niches
he could make a dollar
to make a living. Yeah. Amplifiers, microphones, the works.
That's cars.
Yeah, cars.
Surfboards.
Exactly. Surfboards.
Yeah, man, he was something.
So anyway, you guys started touring fairly early too.
Yeah, I think our first road trip was 82.
82.
When we went
and you guys were one of the guy in Milwaukee.
Yeah. I
can't think of his name all of a sudden. Tom Radai
here. Yeah.
Bill, I'm wondering if you can put me in touch with Rod Piazza. What room is he in?
That's right.
He won't take my calls, and I need you to get the message to him immediately.
He put he put that tour together. That's right.
Now, did he work for you guys for a while?
He might have done a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Not a hell. Mercer got in there, so.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mercer actually started booking the band.
He would, yeah. Well, he would book, he got us going to Europe.
Got you going to Europe. Yeah. And I remember who you worked with there. You worked with that, the woman,
Maria. In Finland. Yeah,
Maria in Finland.
She was kind of a big vocalist.
She was a big star
pop
over
star.
there. Yes.
And her husband. They were a tag team kind of thing.
And they were great.
So we did 5 countries in like 3 weeks, something, all on a train, first class.
That was awesome.
I actually carried my string bass overseas.
Yeah.
And I lugged that all around
Which is insane on a train.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really any bass amps to handle.
Now, did you guys bring your own gear back then?
Rod brought an amp.
He did.
And we brought a guitar, and I brought the string bass.
Right, but basically you're at the mercy of whatever amps they happen to have. Yeah. Which probably wasn't too easy at that time.
Wasn't too easy.
No.
And it was a wake-up call for like, we're not going to get our sound that we're going to get at home. We're going to have to just which we still kind of notice that now.
Yeah.
That it's not going to be anything like you sound at home. And you've really learned to
adapt
very quickly.
Right.
So we've learned that big slap in the face right off the bat. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, there's not many bands in the blues world that would bring their own amps over, huh?
I don't know.
When it comes down to it. I mean, we're
pretty expensive.
Yeah, I mean, can you think of any that would bring their amps over? Besides like B.B. King or somebody like that.
I think Kim probably brought his stuff.
I don't know.
Didn't he?
He pretty much uses, I know nowadays he has backline that's there. He just requests certain things and he has, a box or whatever that gets his sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even back then, early on.
Well, I don't know about early on. I think more maybe in the days when they were really getting hits.
Yeah.
He probably was able to bring their own gear, but I mean, it just gets so expensive.
And then it's there's a different wattage thing going on.
Right,
so
exactly.
the power with the amp that you're bringing from home isn't going to sound like your amp anyway.
No, it's not.
And you find that out really quick.
Right, exactly. So there's a lot of ins and outs to really how you manage it when you're touring over here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it still goes on today. It's all part of it. It ain't just getting up and going la 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 and playing a couple of songs.
Yeah.
It's way more than that.
Yeah.
And they don't teach you that.
So with the Flyers, you guys you had 4 guys and a woman. Now, what was that?
Miss Honey.
What was it like having a woman in a band of pervs?
Honey was great. Honey was great. She was a trooper.
Yes.
And she took care of everybody. She was everybody's mom. She was
kind
everybody's
of had
girlfriend.
To be den mother. Yeah, right.
She was great. And she worked her ass off. Man.
Yeah.
She really, really did.
So she was a big part of the gig.
Yeah. Rod would say, man, we're playing our ass off here. We did 5 songs and we can't get this crowd into it. I'd give Honey, 3 minutes and she plays a boogie. They're all standing on their feet. And then we would get over.
Yeah.
For the rest of the night, people would just be falling out.
Into it, yeah. So she was really the secret weapon.
She was the fizzle stick in the cocktail.
Right.
Is fizzle stick, whatever that is.
Yeah.
A little stir.
Now, Junior was in the original Flyers and the Flying Saucer Band. Mm-hmm. When did he leave? He was there for what, 10 years?
Yeah, he left around 86.
86.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he was in there pretty much 77 to 87. I mean 86.
I believe
so. 9 years. Yeah. Okay. And then how about Willie Schwartz?
He was in there he left before that. He
did.
He left around 85.
Right. Okay. And then you had Ed Mann in there, a year or two?
Yeah.
year or two, and then eventually Jimmy Bott got in.
Jimmy Bott came in.
Right. And how long was Jimmy in there for?
He was in there for another, at least a 10-year stay.
10-year stretch. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jimmy was, you guys got Jimmy out of my band. I just remember.
That's right. That's right. I don't know how that went down. I just remember.
I remember what happened.
All of a sudden there was a Jimmy Bott in the band.
I was going to
I
Europe.
had nothing to do.
I was going to Europe, and it was my first European tour with Maria Boehner. I mean, Maria, I can't remember her last name. What was it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Babitsu or something like that. Yeah. Babitson.
Could be.
And we're doing Finland, and Bott bailed like 3 weeks before to join Rod. So that's how I got June in the band.
Well, you did pretty good.
I did pretty good.
Yeah.
We lucked out on that. And Bott was a real firecracker in the band as well. Kind of like Willie Schwartz.
Yeah, but
and Willie was his idol.
Yeah.
That's what's interesting is Willie Schwartz was really Bott's idol.
It really kind of started taking off. I mean, it really, the show really kicked in.
Yeah.
But we were getting these gigs too. So
right.
And we had this gig out in Riverside at Carlos O'Brien's, where we'd work a month of 3 nights a week.
Right.
And it was almost our cavern club like the Beatles had.
Right.
I mean, we rehearsed in suits. I mean, we played in suits just like we were doing
on stage
at the biggest gig you'd ever have in your life. We would come every night like that. And it was a for free gig. People would just come for free.
No cover. Yeah.
But it was like 200 people kind of place, maybe 250. Yeah. So it was a big room, and all of a sudden it was just packed every time.
Right in Rod's hometown.
Of course. Yeah. And it was perfect in that regard for them. And then we drive out from Long Beach, and that somehow worked. We made it home, even though God help.
And at the beginning, you told me you and Junior were driving back and forth to San Jose.
Yeah, when the band first started,
first 2 years,
when it was the first year, 77, we'd stay down for 3 days, drive home, back and forth, back and forth. We're lucky to be alive. I'm telling you.
I think so.
We didn't really break down too much. And me and Watson.
Yeah.
Driving and trying to navigate. What are we doing?
Yeah, it was a whole different world back then.
And we'd meet these people, and we'd stay at their house, and they thought we were going to be drug dealers with them. And then they'd go, well, I got this deal. And we go, who are you talking to? And the next thing you know, we'd be gone.
Right.
We'd have to find. And then finally, in 1980, we both Watson moved in with James Harmon, and I got a little studio apartment in Long Beach. And then, that was it. We were there. And then we got real serious.
But did you say there was a period in 80 where you guys both left? Like Junior went and joined
Charlie
Musselwhite for a year.
He got a gig with Charlie, and I told Rod, I go, look, man, my girlfriend back home is blowing her mind. I need a break from this driving back and forth.
Right.
So we took off about 6 months. Mm-hmm. And then the phone started ringing. Hey, we started playing gigs, like in Mammoth, San Luis Obispo. We'd get together every couple of months. Mm-hmm. And the magic was still there. And it was even more magical. Right. And then it was like, okay, we got a gig where you guys are going to stay in a hotel now. Come on down. Let's get going. We got gigs all over the place. You can just live down here now. Right. Right. So that's how.
That's how you guys became SoCal transplants.
Yeah.
So you guys became LA transplants at this point. Now you must have seen some of the. You obviously got introduced to people like George Harmonica Smith and Shaky Jake and Johnny Dyer, Pee Wee Creighton, guys like that. Now, was that all through Rod pretty much? Yeah. Rod kind of set all that
He
up?
was buddies with all those guys, and they started coming down to the gigs.
Right.
And they would sit in. Right. And we would we would record with them. Right. And
now how about Murray Brothers? That was kind of a label that recorded you guys a lot, plus a lot of these guys like Smokey Wilson and Johnny Dyer and George Smith. Jimmy Rogers.
Jimmy Rogers, and a lot of that was they'd used the Mighty Flyers,
Right.
and then they'd
right.
use other people in the band.
You
know?
guys would become the backup band.
Yeah, we were the kind of the house band for the Murray brothers
Right.
stuff. Although they all had
Now, were those friends? Those were friends of Rod?
Murray brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Rob Murray.
Rob Murray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
And then a lot of those got reissued, I think, on Blind Pig.
Blind
as I
Pig
recall.
picked up Jimmy Rogers, for sure. Maybe
No, I think they did the George one too.
George, both of
Yeah,
those.
I think they did
Jimmy
both
and,
of those.
Yeah.
And then you guys recorded for Blind Pig, as I recall.
No,
Or they ended up putting out some stuff. I
maybe
think
they could have.
yeah, they put out some stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Now, what was the label? There was an album called Heartburn that you
Yeah.
guys, that Rod put out. Was that, what label was that on? Do you remember?
That was his own thing.
That was.
And I
Okay.
don't know. I think it got licensed. Maybe I don't know. Maybe in the end, Blacktop picked it up.
Yeah,
Maybe
that could
years
be.
later.
That sounds
But
right.
originally, that was just his own little project
Right,
that we all played on,
right,
and he had the Hollywood Fats played on it.
right.
Because you know what was going on is Bob Mercer and his team wanted us to kind of become more than just blues, more
Right.
than just a blues band. So
Right.
we were trying to write and recording and putting our own stuff on records, and it was trying to be a little bit more commercial.
Right.
And so Rod wasn't a big fan of doing that, although he went along with it.
But didn't he, wasn't there a thing about one time he went to see Huey Lewis and he was like really gung-ho to kind of do something that was more commercial? at
Yeah, it
one
was all
point?
during that era,
Yeah,
but at the same time, he wanted to do a strict blues album,
Right.
which was
right.
why Heartburn came out.
I see. Okay.
And that was really kind of, he was crossing some lines there, because Mercer was trying to promote the Mighty Flyers, and
Right.
here comes out this, and sell those records, and here comes out this album. But
Right. So,
what are you gonna do?
so now at the same time, people like Harmon were kind of doing a similar deal.
Yeah.
And eventually the T-Birds kind of did a similar deal. So a lot of the blues bands, I think at that point in that early 80s time period, they were really kind of straddling the fence between blues and going commercial.
Right.
Yeah. Is that true?
I would say,
Yeah. Robert
yeah.
Cray.
Huh?
I mean, when I think about it, a lot of the bands like, the T-Birds and Robert Cray were two that really made the leap and successfully of getting on
To the next level.
FM radio, pop radio, videos, things like that.
Yeah.
And it seemed like you guys were kind of in that,
We were,
you and Harmon were kind of in that.
and there were so many festivals back then that
Right.
we really fit in on that deal. We weren't really good at headlining, but we were really good at coming on before the headline.
And putting the pressure on.
We'd love putting the
Yeah.
hurt on the headliner.
Yeah. Yeah.
We loved that.
Yeah.
Now, when we were the headliner,
And you guys pretty much played, it seemed like almost every major festival that had anything to do with blues at that point.
and there was a lot of them.
Yeah, there were a lot of
Overseas,
Right. You guys killed over here. I remember.
Australia,
Yeah.
Japan,
You guys killed over here.
it was just like, wow. And all over the States,
Yeah. Right.
we just go out and do festivals. I think in the 90s, it was just festivals. You could do a whole, bunch.
Tour of festivals.
Just fill in little
Yeah.
club dates here and there.
Right.
Just to keep busy
Right.
and to get you to the next town. But mostly it was festivals. It was paying for everything. Yeah. I don't want to tell you how much.
You don't
I
want
make.
to tell me. No. You'll just depress
I got a
me.
nice condo.
You'll just depress me if you tell me. So after Junior quit in 86, wasn't it Alex Schultz came in?
Brother Al came in. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Alex was with you for a good while.
Yeah. Maybe another 10 years with Alex.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you guys did quite a bit of recording with him, as I
Yeah.
recall.
That was when Blacktop
Right.
came
Blacktop.
in and
picked
Hammond
you guys.
Scott.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Right.
I think those are some of the best recordings of the group.
Right. Was that the Live at BB King's record?
No, that was Big Mo Records.
Big Mo. Okay.
And they came out with Live at BB King's, and then there's another one called Live at Fleetwood's.
Oh, okay. That was Mick
That
Fleetwood's
came out
place in D.C. Yeah.
later.
Was that Blacktop?
No, that was Big
Fleetwood's?
Mo
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
But Blacktop did about 4 or 5 records on us,
Uh-huh.
something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was really a good relationship for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And then we got Patrick Day was involved. That's when
He
Mercer
became
kind of
the
got
agent,
aced
yeah.
out of the deal. Patrick Day
Right.
came in, took over the booking. And he didn't even have to pick up the phone. The phone would ring and they go, we
Yeah.
want the flyers. And
Yeah.
you go, well, that would
Yeah.
be $300 million. And if you don't pay it, you're not going to
Yeah.
get James Cotton.
He bankrupted a few clubs with that kind of stuff, didn't he? Yeah. No, that's the truth. Well, you realize that the 90s were a great time for blues.
Yeah.
I mean, when you consider the amount of festivals and record labels, and just you guys could tour all the time, right?
We could do as much as we wanted.
Yeah.
Which I liked about the fact that we didn't do it constantly. We didn't go on. A lot of bands back then would start out, they would play a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, and then stop somewhere in the middle of the country. Because we were from California, it was hard to get from
Right.
A to B. And so they would stay out there and then go start another 3 weeks. Well, Rod and Honey wanted to get home because they had kids.
Right.
And I didn't mind getting home either.
Right.
I wanted to be home.
Yeah.
And then finally, we would hire 2 drivers to drive the equipment to the first gig, and then we'd fly those drivers home, and then we'd fly them back to pick us up at the end of the gig, and we'd all fly.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a whole big deal going on
Yeah.
with how we did this
Yeah.
in the States.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big deal.
So you had 2 drivers?
Two drivers.
2 drivers, 2 vans. 2
One
drivers?
stayed and drove Rod and Honey around, and
Right.
the other one, our driver, we flew home. So we had
Okay.
2 vans always on
Wow.
the road.
That's an expensive venture. Yeah. So that big money came in handy, didn't it?
Had to have that. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
But then there was all these recordings on the side. You'd meet these. You do the records. You'd get to play with these people. And I was with Blacktop. We were playing at Tip Tina's. And we were on the road, and the Mighty Flyers had a gig at Tip Tina's. And then there's Snooks Eaglin needed a bass player.
Right.
And Earl King needed a bass player that night. They were all on the show. Guess who got the call?
Right. Yeah.
And what an experience.
Yeah. So you got to play with, in a lot of ways, I think you got to play with, in terms of bass players, you got to play with so many different artists.
Yeah. Oh, it was
Playing with the Flyers. You played with Big Joe Turner. You played with Johnny Taylor. That was with
That
the
was
Flyers?
actually, that was before the Flyers.
That was before the Flyers.
I got a call. Yeah, there was a Jack Douglas, who was a sax player back in the day. He played a lot of R&B shit, pardon me, crap.
You're not talking
things.
about the guy that, not the guy that played with, who's the guitar player? I'm getting confused. I'm thinking of another. I'm thinking
This guy was
Greg Douglas or somebody.
This guy, I think it was Jack.
Yeah.
So it was Douglas is his last name.
Right. Right.
He, came from a early playing on records and stuff. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but he was the music department at San Jose City College. And I was doing a lot of casuals with this guy and doing all these little gigs around San Jose. This is
Right.
all before the Flyers.
Right.
And he said, Johnny Taylor's coming to town. He's playing the Berkeley Community Theater. Leroy, his guitar player's coming into town. Be here at such a time. We're going to rehearse. And you're going to do a weekend at Berkeley Community. And,
Wow.
and that was just like, wow,
What was that like?
just, heaven.
I bet.
Heaven.
That's a heavyweight dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it went real successful.
Yeah.
He never came by and said hi to me.
Right.
One of those deals, he was gone.
But it was totally pro.
Yeah, and they all thought, the crowd thought that we were the,
Regular band.
I believe, do, 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 do. I did
Right,
the intro,
right.
and all these girls were falling out.
That's great. Yeah.
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 And so, but all these little things, and a lot of guys that are musicians know that you meet people the more you play, the more you meet people,
Right.
and you make these connections, and you get these gigs. Well, I was in a spotlight where, there was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you just have, a lot of it too is you're there. You're the guy there.
Right.
But you got to be ready.
You're on the gig. Yeah.
You got to be ready.
You're
with
at the
stuff.
gig. Yeah. Yeah. So was that true with Otis Rush? Is that somebody you played with Rod, or was that with...
we we backed up. We were the band with Otis Rush in Sacramento on the Blues Festival.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So did Rod play on that or not?
I'm sure he was up there.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Hey, the blues are all Phil Gavon.
Oh, that was Little Milton you're thinking.
That's Little Milton.
Little Milton. But you played with Otis Rush as well.
Otis Rush was at Antone's.
Okay, that was at Antone's.
And
right.
I don't know if we played.
You guys played before him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was Little Milton in Sacramento.
Right. Tell me about the Jimmy Rogers session, because that was a great friggin' album.
That was out in Riverside somewhere, and he showed up and he had his Canadian club, Canadian Mist.
Right.
And he was snipping on that. So we got a lot of tracks done.
Right.
And by the time we did, doom, doom, doom. Cuckoo.
Right.
We had to really take a break and get him a hamburger. But we got to play all.
So you guys kind of did the Chris Rockwood's "Don't Feed Them Until They've Completed the Session."
Well, you kind of had to limit his alcohol intake. Was the problem.
Right, limit his alcohol intake. Yeah.
But well, you heard the record. It's
a great record, man.
Pretty good.
To me, it's as good as anything he ever did.
And that was
in the later years.
I think that was Murray Brothers.
That was Murray Brothers.
And then the same thing with George Smith. We did an album.
Right.
Like that.
And that you did at Western, right? Didn't you do that?
No, that was some.
Because that was the one I think you told me that Watson told me something about, that there were a bunch of records they were giving away.
That was the old Kent Recording Studio.
That's right.
Normandy,
that's what it was.
In L.A.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And that's where we did the Flying Saucer album. It's a big barn.
Right.
And
but that's where BB and
all those
different
records were made. And so we found this little back room, and they were just thrown in there, all these album sleeves and an album. Right. So we looked. James Harmon was there. He backed up his van, and we just started throwing stuff in there.
That's how he got half of his collection, probably.
Oh man,
that's awesome, man.
Great stuff.
Wow,
great fun.
So, so tell me about now on the Jimmy Rogers session. I remember Watson was telling me stuff about Jimmy, like telling stories and stuff with you guys.
Oh yeah, there was always these stories.
Yeah,
Always.
So the Howlin' Wolf, like getting in trouble in Mississippi.
I guess he killed somebody.
He killed somebody. Yeah,
and then they let him go because they figured, it was
just a black guy. What do we care?
Yeah.
Right. That's unbelievable. Yeah. And then George, tell me about that session, because that was a great album. That album really, that was kind of one of the albums that really I learned Boogieing with George. Wasn't that the name of the album?
Yeah.
Was that the name of the album?
That's right.
And I remember I learned that song and I worked that into a song called The Humble Bug later. And I took the intro to that and kind of worked it in.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's one of the rare ones in first position.
Okay. We didn't Rod and George?
No, that was a different one. That's one called Sunbird or something like that. Yeah. Boogieing with George was a chromatic instrumental.
Okay.
But it's really kind of this is a little bit of history. It's from Jerry Murad, had a thing called Harmonica Boogie.
Okay.
The Harmonicats, and that's where he got the idea from.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, in a lot of ways, I think George Smith wanted to be kind of almost a Jerry Murad kind of guy.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Maybe, Left My Heart. And,
well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and we're listening to tracks.
Right.
And he goes, there was a slow blues, or playback. He goes, Bill, you hear that song? I go, yeah, George, I hear that. He goes, it's slow blues. I go, yeah, George. I go, yeah, we ought to do something like that. Let's nail it. He goes, we're going to do religious blues. That's what's it's going to be religious. And I go, okay, George, just give me a couple of the lyrics so I know, because he never knew what George
what he was going to throw into the basket.
So I wanted to know when it was going to be the religious blues. So I
right.
wanted to be getting the inside story.
Right.
And he thought for a minute, and he went, okay. He goes, "Oh Lord, why?" and stuff like that. Okay, I'll go right on.
That's
George.
pretty religious, all right.
Oh Lord, why? Because it was hard for him to get gigs too.
Right.
And he was working with the church, so he wanted to sell some records.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, him and Rod went way back. Those guys went way back to the kind of the beginnings of Rod's career. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bacon Fat.
Right, Bacon Fat.
All those, way before my time.
Yeah. Were those guys? Would you say those guys were pretty close?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I remember one time seeing George, and he kept announcing that Rod and Honey were going to show up.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't help think to myself, what if they don't? But they did, and he was totally stoked to have him up on stage with him.
Yeah. Well, George was a real. I mean, they all those guys,
Yeah.
they all took us in like family, right?
Johnny Dyer, yeah.
Oh, Shaky, it was just
Shaky Jake,
so, they were just so happy that we cared about their music and their history.
Pee Wee Creighton.
Yeah, and Smokey Wilson.
Yeah.
Long Gone Miles, a bunch of guys that you probably never heard of.
Right. Well, Long Gone he made records.
And Big Joe Turner was just the nicest guy. He knew me all that. He said, hi, they all knew you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It wasn't just a bullshit deal. They actually cared.
Yeah.
And they kind of critique your stuff, a little bit. I try this, and it's great. Can I stay over at your house?
Would they say that? Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I go, well, there's not much of a house to stay in.
Well,
they just wanted to hang out.
That's cool.
Something. I don't know, but
yeah,
a lot of education with that. I mean, being on stage with George, there's nothing like it. I mean, there was something about that one note deal.
Right, that he talked
about,
that Rod talks about.
The whole crowd would fall out.
Yeah.
That actually happened.
That did
And
happen.
I was on the stage and saw it happen.
Right.
And there was a feeling with his selection of notes.
Right.
And just the two or three and the air that he would leave.
Yeah.
And the look in his eye. Look out, Bill.
Well, the other guy that was like that, Cotton, was very much like that too.
Yeah.
Cotton had that ability to really just, play a couple notes and just floor people.
But I don't think there's not that, you don't see that whole generation had this thing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just not playing the songs. There's something else.
It's a note. It is a note thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a note thing. It's a tone thing. It's space, the amount of space those guys could leave. And you just kind of don't really hear that very often anymore.
And then all the shenanigans that they throw in on it.
Right. Which George could definitely do.
He had a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love the one where he made everyone get up and he goes, "But before I start the show, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get up from your seats and just shake your arms a little bit. Breathe deep, relax with George. Now take your hands and pat them together a little bit and just kind of rub them like this. Pat them. A little faster. Thank you very much for that standing ovation, ladies and gentlemen.
I hadn't heard that one. That's a good one.
That was great.
That's a good one.
I took my parents to see him and they said, okay, we can leave now.
Yeah, man.
He was a character, man.
Yeah, just sweet.
So tell me about.
Let me before we get off, George.
Sure. Yeah.
He showed up one time with a crown, and we all said, "Hey, George, where'd you get your crown?"
Right.
He goes, where do all kings get their crown?
Right.
Come on.
Burger King.
I mean, come on. I'm supposed to have a crown.
Right.
Why do you ask me that?
That's great.
Come
There were a
on.
bunch of the other old guys back there, right? We're like Joe Turner and those guys back there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's so great.
It's funnier now.
Yeah. Then he put it on Rod or something.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Robbie didn't want to mess up his head.
Right. So tell me about some of the other guys you worked with. What was it like working with like Snooks?
Well, I get up there.
Yeah.
I had, talked to him briefly before. We sat at a table.
Right.
I got to meet him. And,
Yeah.
and
This is Tipitina's in New Orleans?
Tipitina's.
Snooks Eaglin.
Yeah. And he said, well, we'll go do this gig. And I said, okay. So, I had my electric. I had
Right.
an Ampeg fretless
Right.
on the road with me, along with the upright that I played with the Flyers. But I always brought some kind of electric.
Right.
Because these guys liked it. And so I get up there and we play the show, and it's great, It's working, getting over, and he's happy.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, I'm taking my gear off and kind of packing it up. Some guy comes up and goes, wow, you made it through. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, usually he'll stop in the middle of a song and take the bass away from the bass player and show him how to play it.
Wow.
And I'm going, I'm glad you told me that before I started. Yeah.
Yeah, after the gig. Yeah.
And Earl said that same night.
Earl King.
And we did a lot of
So was that
shows.
Earl and Snooks together on that
Yeah.
show?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
I think so.
I saw those two guys together. That was a fabulous combination.
They were
of
great
players
together. And with Earl, we went overseas with him.
Right.
We did festivals with him in the States and stuff. So we did a lot of things with Earl. We got to know Earl a little better. Snooks is just that one-off
The
night
one-off,
that
yeah.
I played with
Right.
him. But Earl, there was maybe
Earl was so friggin' great.
he was great. He would start
He was one of my favorite songwriters of all time.
He was great, and I go, why are you telling me a joke in between? There's a million people out here just telling me a joke, and I go, what's the deal? And he goes, hey, I just got a check for like 60 grand today for a song that Jimi Hendrix did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let the good times
come on.
Come on, yeah.
Right.
I just got a check. I don't need it. I go, okay,
Wow.
all right.
That's awesome.
So he'd be drinking his Jack Daniels,
That's great. Yeah, he could get pretty blitzed sometimes. He was the one that had his office in the donut shop.
Yeah, him and Katie Webster.
Right.
Right.
In New Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah, that was his.
That was where you went and called him.
Yeah, I think there was
donut
some
shop.
numbers going on there.
Could be.
Some number action going on.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you ever work with Katie?
We did. It was a show in Germany, a couple of shows in Germany with Katie and Earl.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Now, did they know each other from way back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They were. That's probably why they were working together.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Wow.
That tour. That's
Yeah.
He wanted. We could do it. We were going to be on the road, and he got her or something.
Uh-huh.
Something like that.
Now, did Blacktop have a lot to do with this stuff?
No, that was still. I think
Pat Day?
I think that was Mercer.
Mercer got that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
okay.
it was still before.
So that was
Blacktop.
before Blacktop.
I think
Wow.
so.
Interesting.
I think so. Mercer did a lot.
So in a way, the Blacktop thing came about after you'd already worked with a lot of their artists.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it is. I hadn't thought of that,
Yeah.
but maybe yeah.
That probably had a lot to do with why you guys were in there.
Yeah.
You guys were on Blacktop for how many records was
About
it again?
4 or 5.
4 or 5 on Blacktop?
Right.
And then eventually they went under and you guys went over to Tone Cool?
Somehow that developed.
Rosie Rosenblatt?
Right.
Yeah.
And Rod was producing a lot of those records.
Uh-huh. And he pretty much was always recording in LA.
Yeah.
He never really went to another city.
Pacifica recording studios we would use.
Right.
Because all the bands, even my records, I record. We got to get into my records here.
Right.
Talk about those. But
And for that matter, you and Junior played on William Clark's second album, I recall.
I think so.
Yes,
yeah,
you
but that was in L.A. too.
Right. That was in LA.
And Can't You Hear Me Calling?
Right.
And so there was, like you say, there was that space after Blacktop.
Right.
And then Rosie came in, and we started doing a Tone Cool albums, and it was like
Right.
about 4 or 5 of those,
Yeah.
and they all did really well.
Mm-hmm.
And Rod was producing. Rick Holmstrom was playing guitar by then,
Right.
and I think he produced one of the albums. And so we would, that was. We were
So
doing
you guys had 2 guitar players out of William Clark's band. I just realized that.
with Alex.
Yes. Yes.
But William Clark was gone by the time.
Right. By the time Rick came in.
Yeah.
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 But William Clark was around when Alex decided to come and work.
That
with
was
us,
not pretty.
and he wasn't very happy.
No,
about
he
that.
wasn't.
But
And I remember how great Alex was with William Clark. He was phenomenal with William
he
Clark.
was.
Yeah.
We
really
played a
great.
gig at the Fillmore, the original
Uh-huh.
Fillmore Auditorium, the
Right. Bell on the Harps.
Battle of the Harps.
Right.
And
You
I
guys
saw
were
that
pretty
gig
much on every one of those, as I recall.
early on.
It
early
seemed like
on.
you guys were on all.
Victoria Theater.
Right, the Victoria Theater. We played with you in the.
And it got so big they moved it to the
Right,
Fillmore.
right.
Which
I
was,
think you only did 1 or 2 at the film.
right.
He did the Palace of Fine Arts. He did a number of them.
Yeah, Palace of Fine Arts. Right.
Right.
I think the most fun were the Victoria Theater
The
ones.
Victoria was awesome.
That was a great little room.
That was a great. I think you
Theater.
only did it twice there. As I recall.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Then it
But
moved-
then the blues,
moved.
the San Francisco Blues Festival.
Right, you guys played that a ton of
Mazzolini,
times.
what a
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
this
Tom
guy.
was a huge fan of
and he was a
you guys.
big supporter of our band.
Yes, he was.
He loved it.
Absolutely.
He said he came
You
up.
guys and Little Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came up and he goes, we were all wearing the white suits, white coats, on his show. And he goes, whoa, this is good. This is good, Bill. You're going to do really good. He goes, I say, you better believe it.
Well, yeah, you guys had the thing with Willie where he had the little lights on the tips of his drumsticks,
Yeah.
and turn out the lights and all you see is the tips of the lights on the
Yeah.
drumsticks.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, right. You tell me about the thing about Rod putting the lighter fluid on the bar.
Yeah.
And walking the bar.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
Blue Cafe in Long Beach.
Is that
They'd
right?
Clear everybody off the bar.
Wow.
They put the lighter fluid and we'd
Yeah.
do Little Southern Lady. And next thing you know, he'd be walking the bar.
Right, right. And did he ever like get crowned by a fan or anything, or
Well, he got hit by a fan.
electric fan? Yeah.
Smacked him, knocked his
Right.
glasses off.
Oh,
But that was
did
the
it?
only. He was really good
That's
at this.
pretty
stuff.
amazing because I was going to say, man, the older you get, the harder stuff like that would become.
He didn't even fall. I saw him. I wasn't playing on the show, but I saw a video of him playing a couple months ago, and he was still getting up on top of the table.
That's amazing. Yeah.
No problem. He's got real good balance. He's a
He
surfer.
must.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But no, he was always good at that. Walking, on
Walking the
something.
bar. Yeah. Yeah.
Walking around.
And it's funny, the wireless thing and the walk in the bar, those are all those are old saxophone player tricks.
Yeah. And let me tell you this one thing.
Yeah.
One of the first gigs I did, we were in Santa Barbara,
Right?
and I hadn't played on the band yet. It was
This is with George Smith, right?
George and,
Right.
and Shaky and Johnny Dyer were there.
I love this story.
And so we're doing our set.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
the first time I'm doing our set. We've
Right.
done other things, but this is really our set.
Right.
Which ended up with at the time, Good Rockin' Daddy.
Right.
And we're playing it, and the gig, it's the last song, and we're grooving away, and all of a sudden I see this, Rod's waving at me like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, what's that? And it keeps going, and Watson goes, get off the stage. And I'm going, damn. So I'm off the stage, I go, fuck, I already got fired. I'm fired. And then all of a sudden, the whole band's coming off the stage.
I
And then
guess they all got
I
fired.
guess, they said, no, we all got to get back on the stage and finish the song.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
no, everything's cool. So that was the beginning of that.
Right.
And then he would walk around, and do all this.
So you're saying he had never done that before?
Not with me.
Really? Had he done it with Junior before?
I think that was all part of his early act.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
I think it wasn't just made up that night.
Right, right.
It was something
right.
they all knew about, but they forgot to tell
But
me.
they forgot to tell you about it.
I didn't get
So
the
you
memo.
thought you were getting fired.
Which still happens to this day.
Right.
Somehow the bass player doesn't always get.
Well, wasn't there a great George Smith story about that night
No,
in
which one?
Santa Barbara?
Oh, well, that was later on.
Oh, was that later?
He was wooing
Wooing
a
a
girl
woman. Yeah,
at the bar.
wooing a woman. Yeah.
And so he was drinking these, I don't know what kind of drinks he was drinking, but he got pretty walloped.
Yeah.
And he was on his knees to this woman.
Just like, just playing it up all the way.
It was great.
That's what Watson said. He said it was the best he ever heard him play.
It was fantastic. And the next day, just like a little young kid, I figured he would be, let's keep playing. You know?
Right.
So I knock on his door, and he comes to the door, and he's in his black, shorts.
Yeah.
His hair is all sticking out. I'm a little tired. I got to go back to bed, Bill. I'll see you later tonight. He's like had the big hangover, and he never got the girl.
Oh,
After all that
wooing,
spending all the money on her.
Oh man! When he say something, I spent $50 on 29 flying tigers or something. That's great, man. So you guys spent a fair amount of time, it sounds like, on the road.
They did.
What would be your advice to people out on the road?
Learn how to get along with people.
Good advice.
They don't tell you, but you need to be a junior psychologist out here, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Read up on a couple of books. I'm telling you, it's not going to always go your way. It's always going to be something. Every day there's going to be something thrown at you. It's going to throw you a curve. You just got to chill.
Yeah. Now it's the guitars and basses on airplanes.
Oh, now, yeah, exactly. We're going through this now. It's like you used to be able to carry your guitar and put it in the bin above the seat. And now they're saying, well, the other day I fly into Gatwick, England, and I'm all ready to get on the plane. And the lady at the desk goes, we're sorry, but there's no room on the plane for your bass. And it's in a soft cover. So it's not allowed to go under the plane. So you're going to have to leave the bass here. You could get on the plane, but your bass can't get on the plane. And I said, what? What's that? When is this rule?
And that ain't true, is it? I mean, you've flown your bass under the plane, right?
Yeah. I don't know what. She goes, the rules have changed. They've changed the rules. If it's not in a hard shell case, it can't go under the plane. That's the first I've heard of this ever.
Yeah.
Then just the other day, Anson and I were getting on the plane, and they did the same thing. They're going, you have to buy a seat for your guitar.
Very dangerous.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen here in the future. We're on a plane tomorrow. We don't know whether...
We're on 3 more planes.
Yeah, we don't know whether...
One tomorrow, one the day after, and one home.
We might never make it home.
We'll see.
And then once again,
bass and guitars.
You don't want to lose your cool.
No.
With these people who have no idea what they're talking about.
Right. And change it totally every time. And
they're just being assholes.
Yeah.
And on a power trip and not making any sense.
Right.
And
well, the thing yesterday was amazing, or day before.
You saw it.
Yeah, I saw it because they let you through at the desk, and then when you got to the gate, you guys had a talk with them, as I recall. Right? So they let us through at the gate.
Yep.
Then you had a talk with them.
Yeah.
And then once you actually get on the plane, they changed the whole thing.
Yep. And the girl said to you, we get to make the decisions.
Right. That's what she told me. Yeah. We get to make the call.
Those people don't know where
they don't know what they're talking about.
Which is
even
baloney.
Though you owe me $800 for my last Norwegian flight that I just booked. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's really getting harder and harder and harder to travel.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that.
But yeah, I mean, and the other thing is, I mean, we're all 70 and up, and so musicians our age. You would think there's like 2 ways. You're either traveling first class all the way, which next to no blues guys are doing that, very few, or you're kind of dealing with all these things that are thrown at you now by airlines and promoters, and you just don't know what you're going to get into. And I mean, I think that's why That's why I wrote my book initially, and I'm working on a second book, which is, like kind of tales of the road.
Very
And
good.
I think everybody
Very good book.
all of us that, are out here, we all have tales of the road because they're constantly coming at you in this situation.
That's right.
We
could tell them about the other day. We were in France, and I think it was our first gig, and we show up there. We don't even have to get into the transportation part of it, but we finally get to the gig where the guy was going to put the band up in a place.
And he told me it was a place that 1,200 bands had stayed in.
And we should have known that 1,200.
Yeah. When he said 1,200 bands had stayed there, I automatically got suspicious.
And this thing was like this rickety.
And what did I say? As we pulled up, I go, what do you want to bet we're staying up there in this weird, like, wooden red building that was on top of the club? I had a feeling it was going to be, that was exactly what we were walking into. And sure enough,
we get upstairs to check out the rooms, and there's spider webs and spiders crawling around.
And a door that high, four feet high.
And a ceiling that high.
Ceiling that high, and stairs that go straight down with no light in them. And no bathroom. And no bathroom.
In the middle, and we're old.
Yes.
So
no bathroom for a bunch of old guys in their 70s.
And it's freezing outside.
And it's freezing.
And slippery on this rickety thing that went, it was like this.
So as soon as I saw that, I went to the promoter, who could not speak a lick of English, and said, we can't stay here.
Yep.
And the look on their face was, the ugly Americans have arrived.
Now.
And as soon as that happened, I went to the road manager and said, book us somewhere else.
Book us somewhere else.
And sure enough, he did. And Bill gets to his room at 12 at night, and there's a waterfall coming off of the ceiling into the carpet of the floor.
Yes. Drip, 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 drip.
So it never ends, folks.
It never ends. So the thing is, and
be prepared like a good Boy Scout.
On going on the road, learn how to pack your suitcase. You don't need to bring a million things. You can get by. Right. Learn how to do that. Learn how to pack. I mean, it's just a bunch of stuff. I mean, you got to know how to play your instrument. And you got to be ready. You got to be able to sleep. Get your rest. Right. Because you're going to need it.
And that's one thing that those guys told me a long time ago. I remember one time I asked Lowell Folsom about Wynonie Harris. He goes, well, one of the things about Wynonie, he never got his rest. He was always chasing them girls and drinking that booze.
Yeah.
That's what killed him.
Yeah.
You got to get your rest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could do it, I guess, if you're 36.
Well,
but even then,
even then, I mean, eventually it is going to catch up to you.
You can't do that forever.
Yeah, you can't burn the candle at both ends, and I know that's why I quit drinking. I'm assuming you quit drinking somewhat out of the same reason.
About 15, 20 years now.
Congratulations.
You just had a birthday too?
41 years sober. Yesterday.
Yes.
Sober is the way to go.
Hey, it's not a bad thing to consider.
Yes.
If you want to maintain your career.
That's right. If you want to keep playing this music.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about your own records. You've put out how many of your own records? 4?
I did 3.
3. Okay.
And it was, fortunately, Rod was very generous about this. I was able to record records, and I handpicked my musicians. I got Lee Allen to play, the great Lee Allen to play saxophone on my first record.
That's awesome.
Junior Watson was on my first record. James Harmon.
Right.
Just to name a few. Jimmy Bott.
Right.
Just to name a few of the players. And I put this record out, quite successful. Had a ball doing it. And Rod, very kind of him to do this, let me sell my record along with the Flyers records on the bandstand. And back then we had T-shirts, and Mighty Flyers, Rod had his solo stuff. We all were selling our stuff on a bandstand, and everybody would sell product. And that was, we would do that, and somehow everybody was able to sell stuff.
Yeah.
So it was so successful. A guy named Eddie Reed helped me produce this. Thank God for him. And then the second, we did another record, and I got Big J McNeely this
Wow.
time on sax, Rick Holmstrom on there. Let's see who else played on there. Steve Fedor was the piano player, great piano
Right.
player from LA. Jimmy Bott again played on there. I had Bigfoot,
Richard Innes.
Richard Innes playing
Right.
drums.
Oh, okay.
And
So Richard toured with you guys for a minute.
he did.
When
Jimmy,
Bott got a
back problems.
tendon. Oh, okay.
Back
I thought it was tendonitis. Okay.
There was back problems, and it might have been tendonitis, but
Yeah.
he had to step down for about 6 months.
Right.
And Richard got in there, which was really, really, really fun. It was a different kind of guy.
Yeah, different kind of guy from Bott.
But
for
that
sure.
was quite an experience.
yeah.
So then I did the second album, and then it was on to the third album, and I used a guy named Henry Carvajal, who was just getting in the band. Alex
Right.
Schultz, by the way, played on my first record too.
Okay.
Alex is
Along
on
with Junior.
and along with Junior, there was 2 guitars. Yeah, and then the second album was Joel Foy and Rick Holmstrom were the guitar
Who you were
players,
roommates with, I remember.
who I was a roommate
Yes.
with. And then the third album was Henry Carvajal played guitar and all of it, and Steve Hodges produced it and played drums.
Oh, okay.
And then we hired a bunch of different guys for the session with the horns and stuff. So
Right.
all those are very successful, and they're still available. And
Now those are on Blues Record Center.
on Tramp Records,
Right.
Paul Duvier, who we got to see,
Right.
he showed
Right.
up at the in Harlem at the
Right.
Harlem Blues Club the other
Right.
night with his friend Fred Broekman,
Yeah.
who's a great DJ here in Holland.
Right.
And so yeah, and I was able to license those albums, and they did quite well all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to do that along with the Flyers and tour with them, and still occasionally do some gigs, have my own band.
Right.
And I was able to do that. And
Yeah.
so it was quite an experience. And I would do another one, but I don't know where I would sell them.
Yeah. Well,
was-
nowadays CDs are kind of something that a lot of people are, scratching their heads about whether to even do them.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, what are you going to
I still do them. I still
Well,
do 'em,
you
but
are,
I work enough I can do it. Yeah.
I got to tell you,
Yeah.
you are an amazing, you do all this stuff. You're a book writer, you're a band leader, you're you book your own gigs?
I
Pretty
book a
much.
lot of them. Yeah.
And,
I
you
booked
know,
a lot of this tour.
He does logistics, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen. This guy, and if something's broke, it's no problem. And anything, he has all these different projects. He puts together all these great musicians. Like on this tour, we got West Star on drums, Anson Funderburg. I get to play bass. He's doing this. There's 4 cats, right?
Right. We had Bob Hall before this.
Yeah, Bob Hall was on
Right.
a couple of tours. Yeah,
Yep.
and it's just amazing. Now he's going over with Bob Hall over in England in March. He does his heart blowout things where he hires all these amazing musicians.
Your percentages in the mail.
You can handle it. Okay, so there you have
Anyway,
it.
well, it was great talking with you, Bill. And
Thank you, Mark.
I know we're long overdue on doing this, but you've got, in a lot of ways, I think, you guys, you played 30 years with Piazza, and it was like, you guys were really one of the leading lights. In my book, you were one of the leading lights of the blues bands of the 80s and 90s. Between you guys and the T-Birds and Roomful of Blues, there was really Robert Cray, there was a very small select group of acts that were able to just work the hell out of blues festivals, nightclubs, and go all over the world and really get your name out there. Little Charlie and those guys, they were in there too. It's really a very select group, and it was like you guys were extremely successful.
We did pretty well. We did pretty
Charlie Musselwhite, obviously has been out there the whole time, but I'm saying of our generation, I think you guys were really one of the leading lights.
I don't even know if you could do that now.
I don't think you could.
How we did it with
No.
the vans and the flying the
No.
airplanes and 2 drivers. And,
No, it's amazing.
And there's no festivals anymore
Right.
to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Well, and it used to be
I don't know,
you would
you know.
always. It used to be you could always get your flights paid for.
Right.
You could get your hotels paid for.
Exactly.
You know,
Not
and
anymore.
that stuff is just kind of on the way out.
I mean, it's like half price now.
Right.
What it was back then.
Yeah.
You know, for some reason, it just.
Well, there was a really good market. I think a lot of it had to do with our age at the time.
Yeah.
You know, we were all younger back
and
then.
The
People
audience
went
was
out.
young.
The audience was young. Yep. So it's really
Different world.
yeah, it's a different world, and we're lucky to still be out there doing it.
Well, you know, I mean, you're a hard worker to keep this thing going. I got to say it again. You know, I mean, there's not many guys. I mean, I think you're the only guy that's working this hard. I'm, you know, constantly working.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to play and then take a break and then go play again. You're right on to the next thing.
Well,
on the phone.
You know, Bill, I mean, that's what I wanted to do from the time I was 15.
You've been very successful.
I want to just play the harmonica and play blues.
Well, boy,
that's it.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah. So, what did I sign up for? Thank you, Bill.